because we have tee time in 40 minutes. Thankfully, it is just down the street. Check, 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 check.
Check, 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 check.
All right, nice. Cool. So I'm just going to go through, with 20 minutes like I have, what I would do to get ready for a round, right? If only I had a net to hit into. And then I'm going to drive for 5 minutes to the golf course, and then I'm going to play. And the course that I'm going to does not have a driving range or a way to hit balls beforehand, so I'm going to do it in here. And just kind of go through my feels and different stuff that we do to try and get the body primed. So starting to feel anywhere that there's still, some tension, right? Trying to warm up the big muscles, the shoulders, the glutes. And pieces of this can be helpful, even just for, if you have 5 minutes before a round, right? All right, so once we feel like the body's moving okay, then we'll start making some small swings. And really trying to feel the separation between the upper and lower body. Trying to start getting the motor warm, right? You don't want to just start warming up and start ripping drivers, I've got an 8-iron here, right? And I'm just going to start hitting maybe some little half swings. Just trying to feel some nice crisp contact. When you're getting loose for a round, you don't really want to work on swing technique so much as more just trying to feel what feels good for my body today, how are we moving, right? If you're out on the range, you'd be looking for, ball flight patterns, right? Is the fade feeling better than the draw, or vice versa, right? Whereas in here, I'm more worried about, first and foremost, just starting to get up to speed, right? So that when I get on the first tee, I feel like my body is a little bit primed, right? We don't want that swing to be our first one of the day, right? Our body takes some time to loosen up, to get warm. Oh, who's in the chat? Cutie said, I love golf, and said hi. Hey, thanks for checking out the stream. I also love golf. That was fractionally out of the heel, so something to pay attention to. Oh, I like that. It's a very cute little penguin or bird saying hi. Thanks for checking out the stream, guys. We're going through a little warm-up session before we head down the street to play 9 holes this evening. Some glorious weather, finally. It feels like we've paid our dues here. And the next few days should be pretty solid on the weather front. Gonna be getting out, filming more content, playing more, trying to get some rounds posted. Cuties asked, you having a good day? I am having a good day, yeah. It's Memorial Day here in the US. So day off work, although I did do some work today. So trying to pay attention to how the body's feeling, right? Just making sure we stretch everything out. The big muscles, right? These hamstrings and glutes, the ones that we really want to use to power our golf swing, right? Don't whack your golf club into stuff. So don't need to be swinging, even full speed for the warm-up, right? We're just trying to get some blood flowing, get the body going. So the strike so far, feeling pretty good. Right? Nothing, if anything, maybe the knees have been bothering me a bit, but that's been the case for some time. Oh, that was too quick. Trying to feel a little more balance in transition. Right, really just letting it float down. Desta said, easy, bro. Hey, Desta, welcome to the stream. All right, so starting to add a little bit more speed into these swings as we start to continue stretching out. Trying to really pay attention. Child of God said Diddy, okay. DBP, my swing was pretty good today. I saw you use a towel yesterday morning, so I did that. Felt different, but it helped me a little more with how to hold my elbows in. Big thanks. Amazing. You're welcome, DBP. I'm very glad that you came back to the stream to tell us how it went. Yeah, that towel drill is a really good one, especially, when you're just learning, trying to feel that connection, right, in the arms, how you want to swing the club and our chest around the spine angle, right? So that's awesome. I'm super happy to hear that. And I'm grateful that you came back to tell us about it. So let DBP's experience be, we're not going to do it today, but, when we do the Q&As, the answering questions, talking about golf swing live streams, keep coming back for those and ask your questions. We'll work on your swing together, see what we can do. Clara Faith said hi. Hey, Clara. Cole Simmons said hi. Hey, Cole. Welcome to the stream, guys. Shout out to you guys dropping a comment, saying hi on the stream. Oh. If you guys have seen the stream before, even if it's your first time, I'd be super grateful if you consider hitting that subscribe button. Really helps us out. Try to keep doing more of this stuff. Keep helping out, the folks like DBP who have good questions. They want to work on their game, right? They're saying, hey, I don't want to be a mediocre golfer anymore. So consider hitting that subscribe button. I mean, seriously, I'm blown away by the amount of support. Like, I talk about it on every stream, it feels like, but, my goal was to maybe hit 1,000 subscribers in my first year on YouTube, right? Just consistently posting, trying to learn how to make content, how to, make videos, how to, improve my own game, right? That's mostly what this is about, but also, talk about other stuff. you know, my experience with sobriety and going to therapy and trying to, you know, talk about some real life stuff too. That isn't just like, you know, how to stop coming over the top, right? Because there's plenty of stuff on YouTube about that, right? But trying to share some of my experience and, you know, knowledge in golf, but also in life. And we've been able to do a lot of that with these live streams. And to be, I don't know, climbing towards 1,500 subscribers already, guys, is insane. I mean, it's been not even 5 months since we posted our first video and really started trying to figure this out. So I'm super grateful for all the support, all the nice comments, all the people who keep coming back. You know, people like DBP that said, hey, I had a question and I worked on something and I came back and it was better because of what you helped me with. So starting to feel a little bit of speed in the swing now, right? Blood's flowing a little flush, right? That's what we're hoping to get to. T says, I've never seen gay tattoos. Crazy. That's actually a really funny comment. I'm so good at Topgolf. Topgolf is fun. Yeah, it's really good social way to get together with people. Not a soy boy. You swing like a girl. Put more back into it. DBP, I don't get on here trash talking. Yeah, I don't really either, DBP, but you know, hey, it's I think it's just a part of the internet, right? The anonymity. But yeah, no, I'm pretty secure in, you know, my life and what I've accomplished in golf and where I'm at. So if that's one thing I would leave you guys with, right, is don't worry. You know, somebody who's accomplished what you've accomplished would never like talk trash, right? Because they know how hard it is. So don't worry about the opinions of people from whom you wouldn't take advice. It's a good way to think about things, right? You're like, hey, I wouldn't let this random person in the real world ruin my day. Like, why would I let it bother me on here? Oh, that was hit really good. So this will be much nicer than just rolling up to the first tee in a few minutes and wondering how the swing's going to feel, not having loosened up or stretched at all. Rapid said hi. Real on real. Thanks, DBP. Big dog, that was so bad. Well, you can come give it a try if you like in here, big dog. Philippe, I think I've got the yips. I really struggled for like 3 seconds before taking the club back, but only on the course. At the range, I don't have that at all. WTF. Well, I think, Philippe, this is a pretty common thing in golf, right? We have, at the range, we don't have to worry about failing, right? There's a bucket of balls. You just grab another one. If you hit one, you know, way to the right or way to the left, right, you just grab another ball. But out on the golf course, you only get one shot at it, right? And there's all kinds of, you know, bad places your ball could end up or, you know, bad swings you could make, right? And that is the mental challenge of golf and trying to translate what we do in practice to, you know, when we're playing for real. I don't have a magic, you know, answer for you other than it's something we all battle and you have to just practice. I do think, you know, there are things that can help, like having a solid pre-shot routine, right? And you can practice it. You know, I practice my pre-shot routine in here. You know, I make a practice swing behind the ball. Got my target picked out. I've got an intermediate target, right? So I'd come back here. I'd make my practice swing, right? You know, whatever feel I'm working on at the moment. Then I get in. I build my stance, a couple waggles, right? Keep my feet moving. You know, try to settle in, feel nice and balanced. You know, one more look, and then we swing. Right? So having a routine can try to minimize some amount of that mental block, right? You're like, I'm just going through my routine. I'm just doing what I always do. You know, I make my practice swing. And yours could be different, right? Whatever works best for you. It could be, you know, a couple quick swings. I think as long as you do it quickly, you can definitely make practice swings. You can definitely, you know, take some time behind the ball. But having a routine can definitely help, Philippe. So give that a try. Jim and Dana says, are you playing around today? Yes, we are about to leave, unfortunately, in only maybe 5 more minutes to drive down the street and get 9 holes in. A little twilight evening round here. And that golf course I'm headed to doesn't have a driving range or any way to warm up really, so I figured, hey, I've got the net out here. Why not just hop on, do a quick warm up, talk about what we're, you know, how we're trying to get loose, what we're trying to feel, right? Did some stretching. Excuse me. Sorry about your eardrums. Jim and Dana says, okay, hope you do good. Well, very, very nice. Thanks, Jim and Dana. Jim and Dana is one of our longtime supporters on the channel, consistently hanging out on the live streams and coming back. All right, we're gonna hit a couple more here. Tell you what, golf is a tough sport when you have seasonal allergies, when you have to be outside. But we power on, right? There's much worse things going on out there, so. A little off balance there, which I don't love, but strike was good. Thanks, Jim and Dana. Appreciate you checking out the stream, saying hi. We're gonna hit a couple more balls here, and then who knows, maybe come back for another live stream when we get back, tell you guys how it went, talk about the round. Maybe work on some stuff afterwards if necessary. This is exactly what we're looking for, right? You know, now the swing, the club's not feeling quite so heavy. You know, we're in a nice rhythm with the strike. You know, if you drop me on a fairway and you're like, hey, hit it 165 with that 8-iron in your hand, I'd feel pretty good about it, right? You know, 20 minutes ago, cold and no stretching, no warm-up, no shot. And hold the finish. Good balance, that's what we've been working on. Hey, free samples. What's up, free samples? Thanks for hopping in to say hi. We're about to head out and head to the golf course. Just hopped on here to do a quick little warm-up. Tim Abner says, what did you build the tee box from? Looks pretty basic, 2x4s and plywood with turf. Yeah, you nailed it, Tim. There's some gym foam underneath, right? But I just made a box out of 2x4s. There's a, you know, 1/2-inch plywood underneath it. And that helps get it up off the ground, right? Spread some of that impact so that when you're hitting balls over and over and over again, right, you know, you're dispersing some of that impact from your hands and wrists, right? Whereas just hitting, you know, right off a mat off the ground can start to get, you know, pretty damaging pretty quickly. So, plus, you know, helps keep it stable, right? This isn't going to swivel around when you're in here swinging at high speed. So, thanks for checking out the stream, guys. We're going to head to the golf course. But stay tuned on the channel for more of these streams, more videos, more shorts. Like and subscribe the stream, guys, if you can. I'm super grateful for all the support. We'll see you next time.